Okay, guys, today we will begin actual algebra 2 with what I consider the most important notes you'll ever take in math. Kind of downhill from here, but that's how important and useful, there's a good word, these will be. Okay, these are called transformations. They will help you shift any graph. You already know what the base parent graph looks like. Talk to me about that word transformation from geometry. Anyone remember the transformations? Yeah.
Sure. One thing is a reflection.
Okay, so the flip was a reflection. What was the one where you just slid? Translation, and what was the rotate? Oops, I said it. The spin is the rotate. And what's the one that gets bigger or smaller? Dilation, either an expansion or a contraction. Okay, so you know what they are. Now you're going to apply them to graphs. So let's start with a look at the front side of your notes. Graphs, I know. Graphs you should know. Okay. Now, even though you already got the answers right there in front of you, all right, name that shape. It's a line, R. Okay. And why is it a line? Because what's the highest exponent you see anywhere in that? One. Okay. If everything's first power, you got a line. Okay. Same deal here, except what's missing in this guy? What letter seems to be missing? X. So if there's no X, there's no slope. And here, there's no Y, so that's your undefined slope. So if you have slope, it'll go diagonal, either positive or negative. Okay, if it's Y equals, okay, then it will go through the Y axis. And if it's X equals, it'll go through the X axis. Graphs, I know. Okay, so those are your lines. Yeah, and what happens if one of them gets squared? Name that shape, if you know what it's called. That's a parabola. Okay. And I can tell you this, okay. If I didn't write it, you should. This is, oh, I did. This is for all evens. So if I ask you, and I will, to graph X to the 22nd power, it's that guy. Gonna be parabola, will be a little bit modified, but it's basically the same shape. All right, and for all the odds, describe that shape. Squiggly. There we go. Let's use some math terminology. Okay. So starts low, finishes high. That's a cube or anything with an odd power. We'll do that. Okay. Except for, I guess, one. Okay. And square root graph. Do you know this one? Probably. Okay. Half a parabola on its side. That's the square root graph. And then the bottom three. Okay. What letter does this one look like? The absolute value? A V. Absolutely. And what is this one? Okay, what's the difference between this one and this one? This one has which one squared? The X, this one has Y squared, so it'll be side to side parabola instead of an up down parabola. And not pictured here, but you chose honors. So This is another one, I think, if you don't know already, you'll learn it right now. All right, this one, if you put this in a calculator or Desmos, you get this look to it. Okay, I think the term is rectangular hyperbola. There's now here. Okay, but that's it, and it's got two dotted lines called what? Asymptotes, okay? So let's use this as our cheat sheet on all possible graphs we know right now. Maybe there are more, but I think this covers them all. So now, what do we do with those? Told you this was the most valuable notes you'll ever take in math. Well, let's take a look at the other side, the three big rules of transformation. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll get Desmos up and running here as well. I think I'll start with, we'll do everything with the square root graph. So there it is, as predicted. Now, what is rule number one? Yeah, this is the slide, the glide, the translation. Feel free to write that on the side if that matters to you. Yeah, this was the translation. Yeah, and now here's how it plays. You're gonna add or subtract the number to your original, and it's gonna slide it somewhere, okay? And it's all about inside or outside, okay? Where is this C? Inside or outside that function? It's written outside the function, and that'll take you up or down. Okay, so whatever you start with, you add a number, it's gonna go where? Up, and if you subtract the number, it's gonna go down. So let's do some discovery learning here. Bang. And I guess I'll leave the original one there. Okay, and all right, before I graph it, give me a number, any number. Small would be good. Say 7. 7 will work, but yeah, let's go with 3. All right, here's how you're gonna play it. Whatever you have on your worksheet, let's say this was it. Square root of x plus 3. All right, especially while you're new at this, I would advise you draw a box around the original. Okay. Anyone want to do that? Can you help? Draw a box around y equals square root of x, or just the square root of x. No, just square root of x. You smearing. Thank you. Okay. All right. Eyeball it. Is the 3 inside or outside the box? Outside, okay, and outside means what? Up and down. So where do you expect plus 3 to go? Up 3. And if I click on this, that's on the screen. Here you go. It's the exact same graph that went up 3. It's easy. All right, what if we change it to minus 3? Where do you expect it to go? Same picture, but down 3. There you go. And if that makes sense, what's the only thing that'll ever change for the rest of your life? The original. Okay, what if instead of square root of x, we did x squared? What shape is x squared? Look at your sheet. That's a P-bola, that's right. Am I right there? There's the parabola, the shape changed, but when we do +3 again, it better be that shape up 3. Okay, so when we get next year, or maybe in May, when we're doing trigonometry, you'll have trig graphs and they'll move up 3. So the shape will change to any one of these guys this year. Okay, and you're just gonna get some play shifting it around. Okay, so outside is up, down. What's the second one on that side? Inside. And inside is side to side. Gosh, you're gonna hear me say that 1,000 times. Okay, well, why is this the one that's the, one you got a star? Plus actually moves in which direction? Backwards. Minus actually moves it to the right. So get used to that. Okay, anytime it's in parentheses, it's always going to come out opposite. So we all eyeball this. We're like, well, I see -3. Okay, well, where did that go when we Desmos this sucker? Okay, inside means side to side. Yeah, and I got to make it plus, don't I? I mean minus. Okay, so there you go. Green is the original. And the -3 inside actually moved it 3 to the right. Okay, if you change that to plus, it'll move 3 backwards. Easy enough. Original 3 backwards. So that's number 1. Inside is sideways, but opposite of what it looks like. And outside is up, down. Rule number 1. Okay. 1 down, 2 to go. And the second one, I call it flip, but that's really, what was that real name? Reflection. So this is reflection. And I'm going back to when I taught geometry. Capital R was reflection and cursive R was rotation. I don't know if they still use that even. Okay, so this is the flip, the reflection, and it's all about what? Inside or outside again. Where is that negative? In or out? Out, and we just like the first rule, outside is up, down. Inside, second time I'm saying it, is side to side. Okay, so if the negative is in here, we'll do the old flipperoo sideways. And if it's outside, from high to low or low to high. Okay, so back to Desmos. To stick with this one. Yeah, let's go here. Okay, look at the top one. Where's the negative? Is it under the radical or outside? Outside, and outside is up, down. So where do you expect the original to go? Up, down. And bang, there you go. So that half a parabola on its side, just flip down. Okay, what if you put it in inside, which quadrant? Uh-oh, vocab word. Where do you expect it to go? If it's inside, and it's flipping sideways. We're in quadrant 1, where should it flip to? 2. Okay. The sideways flip did exactly what you just said. Okay, outside, up, down, inside, side to side. That's rule number 2. Okay. And the final one. Okay, these are the dilations. Okay. And it's all about a multiplier. What are you multiplying by? What if you multiplied me by 2? I'd be taller. Okay, so any number bigger than 1 will make it lots of different words. I put skinnier, taller, narrower. The book calls it a vertical stretch. Okay. And what if you multiply me by half? Give me some words that describe that. Lower, shorter. I put wider. Like for the parabola, it's going to be wider. Okay, so that's the key. If it's bigger than 1, taller, fraction shorter, what's the only number that's missing here? Well, we can't multiply by 0, the whole thing disappears. Missing 1. What if you multiply me by 1? Stays the same, and that's not a transformation at all. Okay, so think you got it. Multiply. Let's go to decimals. Play this game. Here's your original parabola. All right. And how about, what if I multiply it by 3? What do you expect? Narrower, skinnier, taller. Let's see about that. Okay. So the green one is indeed what? Taller, narrower, skinnier. Whatever word you want to describe that as. And if I make that 1/3, what would you expect it to do? Wider. So the black parabola is the original, and the greeny 1/3 is wider. Okay. That's it. So those are the 3 big rules. You'll apply them to every single graph you can get. So let's do a few together. And then that'll do it for the most important notes you'll ever take. Okay, how about, let's spice it up here. Okay. All right, eyeball this one, if you will. Y equals square root of x plus 5, and then -3 afterwards. What 2 things happen to this? It moves 3 which way?
Right.
Now the 3's outside. Outside is up, down. So 3 down and +5 inside. Look at your notes if you have to. Okay, inside means side to side, and plus actually moves it backwards. So I'm expecting, here's how you should play this game today and for the rest of your life. Step 1 is tell me what graph it is. Square root looks like what? that guy, right, the half of parabola on side, that's one. And then 3 down, 5 backwards, okay? When you hit graph, it better be exactly what you just said. Half parabola on side, shallow enough, 5 backwards, 3 down. Okay, so yeah, you can use all of these. All right, how about if I throw a negative in front of it? Yeah, we already said 3 down, 5 over. Well, where's the negative, inside or outside? Outside, so that's up, down, flip. Okay, so it should be that same guy, but flip down. Okay. And write this little note in the side of your paper. Always flip first. Always flip first. That's the only rule we got. Here's why. Okay, this little problem we're doing right here, we had 3 things to do. 3 down, 5 over, flip. Okay, what if I do the flip last? 3 down, 5 over, and then I flip it, where would it be? It'd be up here in the second quadrant. That's wrong. Okay, well, what if I flip it first? It'll already be pointing straight down, or down into the 4th quadrant, and now I can slide it. Okay, so if you don't flip first, you're cooked. Okay, so remember that one. All right, let's take a look at your worksheet and do a couple of these together, and then you've been so good. Shoot, I'll give you 6 days to do this worksheet. How's that? Let's go. Where is it? Okay. How do I want to play this? Yeah, let's do 1 together and then you can do 2 on your own. All right, number 1. Hey, what happened? Your original is which graph? Holler the shape at me. Squiggle, thank you. Okay. And our first one, where is the -4? Inside the side. So where should it go? 4 to the bang. You just have to use arrows, or you can write the word, whatever you want to do. 4 to the right. Okay. What didn't I do, even though I taught you this? Okay. Don't forget, if you're still on the struggle bus with this, you could do this. Put a box around the original. Okay. Do you see the problem here? If I ask you to put a box around x cubed, and you do it without 4 being in there. Okay, if I gotta put a box around x cubed, it's inside. So if you have trouble determining inside, outside, draw the box. Okay, how about this next one when I put a box only around the x cubed? Both the 7 and the negative are where? Outside. Let's go. So where did that? What 2 things happened to this guy? Flip which way? Well, it's already up, so I guess flips down. And 7? No, that's wrong. 7 up, haha. What, you like Sprite? So 7 up, because that's outside, son. Okay. 7 up, and let's see, let's flip sideways. You said, or no, up, down. Okay. Third one. Definitely outside, but this is a what? This is a multiplier. Did he get Did our squiggly get taller or wider? What kind of, where is that number? Is that bigger than one or smaller than one? Bigger. Remember, if you multiply me by 2, I'm taller. Okay, so if you're multiplying by bigger, what should happen? And you pick whatever word you want. What the book calls it, a vertical stretch. You want to call it taller, narrower, whatever you want to call it. I am gonna need a word on your graph, okay? Because I won't know what your original was. All right, and the grand finale for this one, put a box around the x cubed. And which 2 things happened here? Let's start with outside. 5 which way? 5 down. And inside to side. You getting sick of that yet? I am. All right. Inside, 1 which way if it's plus? Backwards, also known as left. All right. I think that was pretty good. You could probably knock out number 2 before I can switch to the next slide here. So be your honors self and finish that one. And I'll clean up my plate here. Really? Stalling. Okie doke. Okay, guys, now after that, at the front side, you get to draw. And on the back side, they gave you the drawing, you get to write the equation. So let's do 1 or more of these together, and then you'll finish. Okay. Front side. Which one do I want to do with you? Too easy. All right. Number 11. So I'll go to number 11. Bottom front. Okay, ready for this one? All right, stop doing number 2. Look at number 11. Okay, and your first quiz on this unit, which is when? Nice. Okay, can't see from there, but schedule. Your next quiz is the 8th week from tomorrow. Okay, and your first test, your actual first test, is on the 20th. Okay, so your first quiz is going to be mostly this. So let's say number 11 is on there. Teach me. What should I do first? Put a box around what? What was the original for this? The absolute value of X. Okay, do that. Put a box around just the absolute value of X. Okay, so now I can see inside, outside. Okay. But now you got your honors, high flying honors group. So I know you probably know these already, but what shape is the absolute value? The V. Okay, so the original is bang right at 0, 0, V with 2 arrows on. Okay, but now let's go. What 2 things happened to it? Feel free to write them on there. 3 which way? It's outside, you know. So 3 up. Multiplying by a fraction. What should happen to wider? Good word. Okay. And now you can draw me the picture. So you'll draw the V up 3. Be a good labeler. And if it's skinnier or wider, I absolutely positively need you to write the word on the graph, because how do I know what your original looked like? Okay, if you drew this guy and told me it was wider, I'm believing it. Who knows what, maybe your original is even skinnier than that. So you'll find, like I say, I'm a very light touch on the grading. All right. Also, help a brother out here. I only want one number on this picture. That guy. Okay. If you're doing this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm gonna make that an 88 to break you of the habit. Okay, 86. Really? Do I have to count? Okay. Why am I doing that? Okay, because somebody, bless their heart, is gonna give me this picture. And even though they meant it to be 3, it was more like 2.7. Okay, you're killing me. All right. If you say it's 3, I'll believe you. Okay. So never label any numbers except the movement number. Okay. 3 up. That's all I want to see. I will definitely holler that at you more than once. Okay. So what do you got to do to finish this problem? A little more practice with your domain and range. How do we do domain again? Run your pencil through the x-axis. All right. At the beginning, is it touching green graph?
Yeah.
Yep, the arrow went right through. And does it ever stop?
No.
No. So how do I say it's everything? Negative infinity. Positive. Yeah. And let's go range. Run your pencil from the bottom to the top. Is it touching way down at the bottom? No. When did it start to touch? 3, 4, 5, on up to forever. How do you say 3 to forever? Bracket 3. Infinity always gets the paren. Okay, so you'll get a little more practice with your domain and range and sketching graphs. And that might be the hardest one. Again, all you got to worry about is the one where you got to flip. Always flip first. Other than that, I think you'll have this. Okay. All right, to the back. Why don't you skip problems 12 through what, like 27 or something? No, skip 12 through 26. I don't know where they went, but this will be enough. Okay, on the back, just the opposite. This time I give you a picture. You got to write me the equation. Okay, so let me pick one of these. Guess doesn't really matter. Well, who have we been neglecting? We did a V, we did a parabola. We did a squiggly somewhere. Was that 38? I'm feeling 38 there. Okay. So get yourself to number 38. And step 1. I guess step 1, let's do domain and range. Why don't you try that? Domain and range for 38. Run your pencil through the X for domain and Y is your range. Let's go. All right, domain, even though it doesn't look like it, it's going forever sideways and down, right? So what do we call that again? That's your all reals. Yeah. And for range, is it touching at the bottom? Yes. When did it stop touching? At what Y? -2. So I gotta say negative infinity to -2. And is that an open dot? Doesn't look like it. So what do we use? Very rarely will there be open dots on this, like on that other domain range worksheet you had, it was like lots of open dots. Okay, now the picture. Let's, you lose 1 point if you don't start every problem with what? Y equals. You might want to write those all right now. Anyway, name that shape. The V is which one? Absolute value of X. Okay. And again, you guys are writing in pencil. I'm not, so I'll leave some space. Yeah. And what 1, 2, 3 things happened to this guy? The original was right here. It definitely flipped which way? Down. So that's an outside negative. Okay. And if it flipped sideways, you'd never be able to tell, would you? If it flipped sideways, it's the exact same picture. And then where? It moved how far? 4 to the right and 2 down. Let's talk 2 down. Where does that -2 go? Outside. And the 4 over to the right goes inside for side to side. But what do I gotta make it? Okay, well, -4. Common error alert, that's it. Someone's gonna put +4. Like this guy, okay? So that is that, and then at the bottom. Okay, let's see, how do they want you to play this game down here? Okay. You're writing an equation for. They kind of snuck it in there. Y equals square root of X. And then using what they told you, obviously put in some numbers. All right. Inverted is their way of saying flipped. Okay. So that'll do it for the most important notes you'll ever take in math. Have a good day.